Welcome to Cosmic Comics, Games and Collectibles, your zen of geekism. We carry comics old and new, magazines, toys, games like Pokemon, Magic, D&D. Want Godzilla, Ultraman, Star Trek, Ninja Turtles, Funko Pops? You'll find it all here. Shop our Cosmic Sound Room and pick up a record or two. Enjoy our Comic Coffee Lounge with a cup of Sasquatch coffee or a delicious menu item while geeking out over a super cool movie on our big screen. Come by and say hello to Maui. Cosmic Comic, Games and Collectibles. Superman loves us, and so will you.
Hi everyone, Daphne Lage here. Join Nita Lanning and me on the Ragin' to the Vlogs show, where we talk about everything, nothing, and all the bits in between. Looking for hour-long conversations about indie comics, social media marketing, and crowdfunding, with the occasional rant and story time? Head on over to the Ragin' 2 channel on YouTube, Mondays through Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern to join in the chat.
Hit the button.
And if it's not your favorite podcast, let us know why, and we will do everything in our power to do what we have to make it your favorite podcast. You want me to shave my head? No great loss. I can pull that off. And you know, in fact, it'd probably be a bit of an improvement. You want me to grow my hair out? Do that. Eat hot peppers? No, I won't do that. I have my moral limits, but I am RJ Carter, Senior Managing Editor here at CriticalBlast.com. Myopic proofreader for Critical Blast Publishing, chief envelope licker for Critical Blast Logistics, and receptionist for Critical Blast Consulting. And we are here tonight as Critical Blast Podcasting. Hey, I didn't even know we needed that logo. I guess we do now, since, you know, I've just christened the YouTube channel as an entirely separate entity from everything else we do. Okay, art department, get on that logo. We need something new. Anyhow, tonight we are going to get back into the world of crowdfunded comics, and we're going to spend some time on Kickstarter tonight with SEIDR, which is the latest book from Mr. Michael Nunnely. Michael, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me on the show.
Glad to do it. Always glad to have you here. You were here. I was like, didn't we just talk about this book like yesterday? But it's been a minute or so.
Yeah, it has been a few weeks.
Yeah, so you've launched since then. We were like in a pre-show mode, I think.
Right. And a few things have changed since that last episode, actually.
Awesome. So let me put the page up here for people to see. And folks, by the way, during the broadcast, if you want to, if you find yourself so moved to back this project, the link is right below the video. It is also pinned to the top of the chat while you're here for the live show. The description link below will be here, of course, for the replays for everyone who comes in later. And you're at 411. They don't give you a percentage of goal like
it's at 21%.
20. You got your calculator up and you're changing it all the time, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, they got a little dashboard. You can go on there and look. It'll tell you the exact percentage. Okay.
Yeah, you have the special access. I've seen that on some campaigns where I'm at, but not tonight. So tonight we're at the 411, and I'm saying it like that because it'll help me remember if I look at the screen later and the number has changed and we get to have our shake and bake moment. And folks, if you've not seen our shake and bake moment, there's an easy way to see it. Put some money on this number, make it go up, and we'll make it happen.
Amen to that.
Yeah. So tell me about SEIDR here. What is going on here? Because, you know, with the success of, you know, series like Vikings and of course the upcoming Vikings Valhalla series, which is going to be on Netflix, the follow up to that.
Actually, it's on already. It came on the end of last month.
Oh, for some reason I was getting ads that were like, you know, it's coming, but it's there. So I need to go in and check it out.
Yeah, we were actually hoping to kind of ride the coattails of Vikings Valhalla there, you know. Did you not get enough Vikings from Vikings Valhalla? Well, check out SEIDR.
Absolutely.
You know, that kind of thing. Yeah.
And, you know, and I'm seeing other Viking stories too. I think there's like Northman is out there. I can't remember where I've seen it, but I know I've seen the name and I
think
remember
I
it.
think Northman is on. I want to say it's on Netflix too. I think, not positive, but yeah. We're adding to the pile of awesome Viking material.
Can we count The Witcher as Viking material, or is that just kind of sort of Viking-ish?
I'm gonna say kind of, sort of.
Okay. I've not watched it. I've just seen pictures from it. I'm like, yeah, that kind of looks, looks rather Nordic and dragonish. And
Right. It doesn't quite have. I mean, there's definitely some things in there that can be related to Viking culture, but I wouldn't go as far as saying it's a Viking show.
oh well, yeah, the Viking show is supposed to be historical recreation, um, and unless we had actual witches and or dragons, then no. But so SEIDR, how close is SEIDR to being a historical recreation versus something magical happening? Where does it fall on that kind of a line?
Oh, this is definitely leaning more towards the fantasy side of things. Like you mentioned before, we didn't have these super powerful witches in the past, or undead
That we know.
rising from, right, that we know of. Yes. So I mean, this leans really heavily into the Norse mythology side of things. Um, I'd say more so than just Viking culture. This leans really heavily into the mythology side.
So I'll bring the first cover up here because I'm remembering stuff now. Seeing the picture. For instance, I remember that the SEIDR is the right reason it's called that is a SEIDR is a witch in Viking mythology.
Almost. You're almost remembering that correctly. This was, you remember, you warned me about this being a family show when I told you what her actual name was. She's a vulva, and not VULVA, VOLVA with the umlaut over the O.
Not a car.
Right. So that is a Viking witch, and SEIDR is actually what the Norse word is for magic.
Okay, yeah, I got you now. So you can pick up the book and get you some vulva magic. Don't we all want a little bit of that? Metal Movies and Brewskis, welcome to the show. Glad to see you here, my friend. We are talking, of course, with Michael about SEIDR, his Viking magic series that has now launched on Kickstarter and will be available for your hot little hands when? In July. I had to scroll down and take a look there.
Right. What things are? I want to talk about that a little bit. Actually, things are moving along really quickly. We originally planned. We tried to plan for worst case scenario, and those are the dates we give out. Right.
Right.
With this, we planned for 3 to 4 weeks to get the 26 pages lettered, and as of today, we got page 17, and we're only on day 9. So things are moving forward really quickly with that.
He's kicking it.
Yeah. In fact, I'm thinking, and I posted this in the last update, that once we get, if the campaign is successful, all the backers are going to be listed as a producer in the comic. So we got to get all those names in from everybody, and I got to put those into the credits, and it'll take about a couple of days after that for the PDF to get made, and the digitals will be going out.
So by July, you may have actually finished reading this book, putting it in the bag and backer, and tucked it away in a long white box in your collection, folks.
It's at least possible. I don't want to promise it because that stuff comes up, right? But as of right now, things are rolling like it's a ball on a hill. You know what I'm saying?
At the worst case, you will be on time.
At the worst case scenario, we'll be on time. Well said.
Not a year late. So
right.
Mike Walters in the chat. Hey, welcome, Mike. Good to see you here. And yes, once this show is over, Mike will be kicking off the mic stand over on his channel. I encourage you all to go and check that out. Mike comments on the niche news of the day, reads off what's the newest news, and gives his commentary on it. Metal Movies and Brewskis is asking if you're going to do an Indiegogo after this with the same title.
I'm not planning on doing that. No. I the whole point of this Kickstarter is for me to be able to put out a comic without going into debt. So really, I'm just going to cover costs here.
Okay, but isn't not doing an Indiegogo just like leaving money on the table? If once you fund it on Kickstarter, obviously. I mean,
I if I'm being honest, that feels dishonest for me. Like I need to raise this money again when I've already raised it. It doesn't. In my heart, that feels dishonest.
I get you, Coach. So your philosophy is sort of the purist philosophy that this is to raise money to get something to happen, whereas the platforms have evolved in the minds of many as being an online store. I need to get so much, but if I can get more, and then I'll sell more and I'll make a profit. Sort of like like Indiegogo has their in-demand function now, to where it's, as long as you're selling books and you're fulfilling, they will keep you active in perpetuity. And it's just like an online store with just that item or whatever items you've added as add-ons to it.
No, I feel like we got Wicked Publishing for that, and we're also putting it out digitally. It'll be on Global Comics. It'll be on enough platforms out there that people will have access to it. And really, I just want our campaigns to be about covering our costs.
Okay, well that's a very noble effort and attitude toward it, and you have your own outlet. You can always go talk about that outlet on Comics Talk with Pops Van Zant. Hey, Pops, good to see you here. CromCon is coming up at the end of the month, and hey, maybe you'll be done by then because you're.
It ends on 7:37 a.m. on the 31st.
Okay, that's I gotta check my calendar because I don't know. Oh, the 27th is CromCon, so you'll still be live. Maybe we'll get you that Sunday night at 8 p.m. Not sure what your schedule is or how it lines up, but
I'm down.
I'm running the last panel, so I got to get guests because I didn't do it last time, and it was a fly by the seat of my pants thing.
I'm looking at my schedule right now. I can totally do that.
Okay, well then we will count you as being a guest. In fact, I'll write you down right now since I got the calendar open. Michael Nunnely. Did you hear that, Pops? I'm hustling. We got our first guest for that panel. So tell me a little bit about what the story is about. I understand the setting and I understand the genre, so to speak, but what's actually happening for those who are watching in the audience here? I know you told me once before, but we got to do it all over again.
Well, okay. It's rather Shakespearean, I guess. But it is basically the story of a king who takes his army into another land during raiding time. And the problem is that the king is married and, of course, has his own kingdom there. That turns into a problem because, well, he falls in love with a witch while he's there in that land.
That's a bad thing to do if you're married.
Yeah. And so, time comes, well, I got to go. And, well, you've heard the phrase, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Well, that goes double when it's a witch.
She going to go all Sharon Stone on his butt.
She gonna get straight up wicked on his ass.
Yeah. Okay. Now this is gonna be a Fatal Instinct kind of Viking thing. So we can see that she's. I don't know where in the story this is. This might be where they meet. This might be where she's taken out her vengeance. I don't know. But these Vikings, that guy's dead. Yes. You can't tell me that guy's alive. He's got an arrow sticking out of his eye. So these are zombie Vikings in this battle going on here.
Yeah, that is the point in the story when the dead are risen. There's a particular type of undead in Norse mythology. I'm not positive I'm pronouncing this right, but I believe it's Habagu. And that is a particular type of undead that doesn't stray very far from where they were killed at, where they were buried at. So those are the particular type of undead she's raising
Well,
there.
yeah, because if they're going to go anywhere, they got to walk, and when you're dead, your legs just don't carry you that far. Uh,
Right,
God,
right.
God help us when somebody figures out that, hey, why can't zombies drive? The zombie apocalypse would beat all these cars all over the place. It'd be like Mad Max. So just grab one
right.
and drive off. It's like riding a bike, right? In fact, undead people should be riding bikes just to prove that adage that they can never forget how to do it.
We start a hashtag undead are people too, man.
Yeah, exactly.
That cover right there that you're looking at is the variant cover that we're going to be handing out, and for all the people who are backing this, the digital copy that you're going to get is going to have that cover on it, not the standard edition. So even the digital copy you get is going to be exclusive.
Will be the alternate exclusive cover.
Yeah.
Are any Draugr, those things in this book?
No, they are not.
Okay.
No.
Sorry, movies and
Sorry about that. Hate to
Next
bum
time.
you out.
So how many issues is this going to go for here? I mean, is this a one and done big graphic novel thing, or is this going to be like
no? This is just the first part. I've got the whole story outlined, but I recently just finished doing the outline for issue number 2, and so it'll have one more issue after that. It's basically just going to be a mini series. And when we get all 3 issues done, we're going to put them together in a trade.
Okay. Is this a world then that you're not going to plan to revisit for more tales starring the same characters?
No. This is a standalone story all on its own. It's not an ongoing story. In fact, I can't tell you why, but by the time you read the end of issue 3, you'll understand why it's not an ongoing story.
Gotcha. This is like that film John dies at the end of this movie.
Right.
But it's the journey that we.
That's right. No, but I dumped a lot of Celtic stuff into my Omen Comics books because I'm Irish and I wanted to do a little bit of stuff involving my heritage. I'm really proud of that. I'm into it and everything. But for that same reason, I'm also Swedish and I wanted to do something involving Vikings.
I was going to say,
Viking culture. Yeah.
Wait a second, you're Irish, so you do a Viking book.
Yeah. So I just threw everything I loved at this one. I'm a huge horror fan. I'm a huge mythology fan, and I particularly like Norse mythology. And I just dive right into the deep end with this one.
Right, so, given that you have an operating vulva in this book, and that SEIDR is real in their world, is this a world where the Asgardian pantheon is something that exists and interacts with your world, or
yes, sir,
you kind of limit it?
Yes, sir. No, in this world that this story exists in, just assume that everything you've ever read about Norse mythology is real.
There's a giant cow walking around licking gods out of icebergs.
Right. Everything.
Okay.
The whole idea is that we're pulling from deep mythology here in some of this stuff, and some of the references we're talking about way back at the beginning stuff. I mean, this really just blends Norse mythology, Viking culture, and horror into one big amalgamated awesomeness.
Very cool. So now we see some black and white pictures. This is a color book, right? Yeah. There's color image. Is your artist doing all the work, pencils, inks, and colors, or do you go through the whole?
I have one artist that does all of it: pencils, inks, colors, the whole 9 yards. And I mean, I'm honestly just blown away with every book that he does. you think, like you look at a book and you say, okay, he's reached his peak, right? This has got to be as good as he's going to get. And then he puts out another book and it's better than the last one. And that's definitely the case with SEIDR here. I mean, we talked a little bit about Guardians before when I was doing the Guardians of Aleum campaign.
Yeah.
And, I was impressed as hell with the artwork in that. And I'm just like I was saying, I'm even more impressed with the stuff that I'm seeing here in SEIDR.
Well, Metal, if you love Vikings book, this is definitely going to be one up your alley. Michael, I'm telling you, this picture here, your book will not make it past the Comics Code Authority. I'm sorry. There is red blood here with all these flying heads. By the way, they're everywhere. They're just leaving bodies and sailing off.
Yeah, we're not. This is definitely. A majority of the books that I make are at least 17 or above, mature readers. Of course, I'm not sure that I'm the greatest person to ask about what you should rate a book. I watched A Nightmare on Elm Street when I was 8 years old. So I've been doing horror a long time. I've been into gore a long time. So that stuff just seems to come out of me when I'm writing books. As you can see here.
Oh yeah, this is that armor he's wearing there. Doesn't seem to be very effective because he's got a spear sticking out of him.
Right.
Didn't deflect all that well. Of course, that's the two things that people spend their time on when you're in the middle of warring all the time is what can I make that's sharp enough to get through your armor, and how thick can I make your armor that your sharp thing can't get through it.
Actually, that particular armor has plates that are joined together, so a spear could easily get in between one of those plates. It wouldn't necessarily have to go through one of them.
Oh, it has a weakness.
Yeah,
like sort of like Smaug. Like there's a chink,
something like that. Yeah.
Now this is interesting seeing his pencils because I saw it before, and I do see it in the colorings now. He's got this interesting texture going on in the sky.
I've
never seen that effect before. I don't know why that effect is there, but it looks cool. It makes it kind of look like painted canvas at some places.
Almost, yeah. It does have that look on it. I hadn't thought about that before, but you're right.
Yeah, and the only reason I question its presence is because it's only there for the sky.
Right.
It's not universally applied. So there's this almost a metallic look to the sky going this way.
Right. I thought it gave. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I thought it gave at least with the sky there. It gave this. I don't know, almost like a gritty feeling to it.
Yeah. Is he doing this digitally?
Well, I think so. Yes. I know when Tosin does his work, because he lives in Nigeria and they have power outages all the time. He does the work in pencils and then scans them in and does the inks and colors and stuff digitally.
That explains them, because I'm looking at this. I'm like, this looks like he's got like a textured metal plate, and he's like side penciling.
Oh, right. It does kind of look like that, yeah. So he totally could have done that with the pencils. I'm not sure how he did that exactly.
It's a very interesting effect. And of course, they're in the midst of battle. You're one of your main guys. I think that's the king.
Yes, that's King Ingvar.
He's fallen to his knees, crying out probably to the gods, and almost as if in answer to prayer, there is the vulva appearing for him to fall in love with.
Yeah, that's
in the right story place, or is this where they're fighting?
Well, I don't want to spoil it too much. I mean,
it's page 7, so it must be early.
Right. There's still a lot more that happens after this. The whole battle sequence at the beginning, it takes several pages to get it going, but it's really just a setup for the rest of the story.
Yeah. Now, this being a Viking book, and it being sort of a mature Viking book because of the gore, right. I have to ask you, Vikings did two things when they went out raiding. The two words that went together were pillaging and raping. It's called Rape and Pillage. So given that he's going to fall in love with this witch, and witches are known for getting naked and doing all kinds of crazy things out in the open, is this something where somebody should be warned, hey, there's guts and blood, but you might see a boob?
There's absolutely no nudity in any of the books that I do,
and the refunds start piling in.
No. Let's see. I'm not sure how to answer that.
Well, you said there's no nudity, so if there is anything else, then it's going to be fluttering curtains.
All of the stuff is it's suggested or shadowed over or something along those lines. And I guess I'd like to specify that I think what you're picturing when you think of witch is more of a European witch.
Yeah,
and a boba is not quite the same thing. They're more of like a shaman.
So they don't get into that whole naked in the wood.
Yeah, they don't dance with the devil by the pale moonlight or anything.
He likes to act out of all his interviewers.
So when we're I told you about some things changing.
Yes,
I would like to point out I took your advice on a couple of things.
Oh no! What did I tell you to do?
Well, if you'll notice, last time we went over this, you were going over the rewards, and you mentioned how I was making it difficult on the host, but not having the rewards all organized. And well, I went back through and I organized those all. They're all set up just right. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yep. And you mentioned setting up a tier just for comic book shops, and I did that. It's the $35 tier in there. They get 30% off of the cover price, and the way that I have it figured out, that puts the cover price down to $6.99. With the $8 they'll spend on shipping. If they buy the 5 books, they're set to make about $1.40 on each book, which makes about $7 profit on selling those 5 books. And here's the really awesome thing: if a comic book shop does back that, if they do buy that, they're going to be listed as a producer in the comic
by their shop name. So that's like getting an advertisement too for the cost of $35 there. So yeah, if you are a comic shop and you want to, have this limited print run boutique title in your shop, this is your level right here. $35. Wow, that's an awesome tier. Back that like 5 times and just get yourself a nice hefty shipment. So that's cool. I think those are I think they're good things. We need to promote it now so that you get some backers on it. Let the shops know that it exists.
Right. I limited it to 5 issues because, one, we're talking about a book that people are not familiar with. So I don't want them to be forced to buy a bunch of books that they may or may not even like. I mean, I'm pretty sure the book is good. I'm really proud of it. But I don't know what kind of interest they're going to get in their shop, or they're taking a leap of faith here. So I wanted to limit it to 5 so that way they can get a nice little chunk without having to be too invested in it.
Absolutely. So I'm going to go back up to the top here and see what the other tiers are, because $5 is the digital only. You're still going to get a producer credit. Are you going to be listed on the physical book as a producer if you just get the digital?
Yes.
Oh, so if you back the book, you're a producer.
Well, this is how I figure it. When you're talking about a producer making a movie, they're just the guys who supplied the money to make the movie, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So backers on Kickstarter are no different. They are producers supplying the money to make the comic, and that's what I'm listing them as.
That makes perfect sense. Every backer is equal. So you can get the digital copy for $5, and you'll get that alternate cover on your PDF. For $15, you're going to get the digital and the printed copy.
That seems to be our most popular tier.
Oh yeah. A lot of people there, especially for first stuff, they don't know anything about it. Like, yeah, just give me the book. second issues, third issues, that's when people are like, yeah, well, if I'm getting the third issue, obviously I've been here for the first or the second, or I'm going to get him as backup. People like this thing. Yeah, give me the T-shirt, give me the poster.
Right.
I'm here because I'm a fan now. But this does come with the. Let's see here. This is $15, and you're getting the variant cover first off. So that's not even the regular cover yet.
No. All the backers are getting the variant cover edition. If they want the standard, they got to buy the one that has both of them.
Oh, gotcha.
I wanted the backers to get something exclusive, something that isn't necessarily going to be available anywhere else.
So the standard cover, that's what's going to be available through your publishing house,
right?
Wicked Publishing.
That's going to be the digital copy that we put on everywhere. That's going to be the physical copy that Wicked is selling. Just the variants are going to both the Kickstarter backers and our patrons on Patreon.
Okay, so that's another thing to tell the retailers on the retailer tier is that yes, while you may be a retailer who gets books through Wicked Publishing to put on your shelf, by going through this Kickstarter, you're going to have the variant cover, which means you can bump up that retail price.
No, that's not actually true.
True. Okay,
the five issues that we have on that retail tier are just the standard cover edition.
Oh, okay. I'm with you. I'm my mind goes on tangents, Mike.
It's quite all right, man.
you got to rein me in here because I'm giving away the store and it's not my store. God, Heroenberg, thank you for popping in here and helping me run herd on things as a wrench. While I sit here and lie to the viewers about what Mike's doing. $25, you get the digital and the printed comics plus some art. So this is where you're getting the variant cover. You're getting the number one cover art as a poster. Now, that doesn't say variant art for the cover, so I don't know.
But that is the standard, that you're getting the standard cover art there for SEIDR number one. Yeah.
So you're actually getting both of them, aren't you?
Yes.
You're getting the variant cover book, and then you're getting both covers as a poster. How big is the poster on that? I see the sticker is 3x5.
I'm pretty certain they are 12x18.
That's big.
If they're not 12x18, which I'm almost positive they are, they're 11x17.
Okay, this is 11x17, folks. So you can put it to your head like this, and because I just got these framed. So that's a decent one.
And it's not on like the kind of, it's not printed on something that you would roll up like a regular poster. This is like a very thin kind of card stock, so it's fairly thick.
So you're going to have to fold it to get it into a Gemini, or are you going to mail them flat?
Wicked Publishing has these mailers that they're going to use that it'll fit in.
Yeah, I've got the mailers too, because we've had big things to go out. I'm like, do you want to roll it? Do you want to fold it? Everybody wants something different. So not only do I have the big mailers that you got to fold up, I've also got a machine, this torture device that looks like a paper cutter, but it doesn't cut. It's like you just center the thing and then you
I believe you showed me that last time.
Yeah,
Totally.
I had just got it, so I was like real happy with it.
Yeah.
I was like, look at my toy.
I don't think if you were to fold these posters, I don't think that would be a crease the poster could recover from. You know what I mean? It definitely would. I think it would ruin it. There would be a big old wrinkled fold mark in the middle of it because of the type of stock it's on. Yeah,
I think that's true for any paper poster. It's never going to iron out once you've creased it.
Sure enough.
So that's why I like rolling. I've got tubes, but only thing that really rolls well are things that are printed on slick paper.
Right.
You get that heavier cardstock. It'll roll, but it's going to hold that roll.
Yeah, and I've noticed the longer, like if you just rolled it up and it was that way for just a small amount of time, it would still have a little bend in it. I
Yeah.
mean, it's if you, especially I think if we actually roll these up and put them in a mailer and then send them out to somebody, by the time they got them, that roll would never come out of it.
It would stay a tube. Now that's okay if you're going to frame it, because now your frame is going to hold it flat. But
Right.
if you're not going to do it for a while, then yeah, you'll pull it out of the tube and it's not going to uncurl. It's going to stay a tube.
Yeah.
So flat is the safest way to do it. Have I gone through all the tiers? There's the retailer tier for
couple
$35.
more.
Okay, so silver level backer. That's kind of hard to say, especially after half a beer.
Now that one's actually where we threw something interesting in here. Now, I don't, to my knowledge, nobody else is doing this, and that's our thing. We try to do something that no one else is doing, like our digital guarantee. If you back this, you are guaranteed a digital copy of SEIDR #1 and the variant digital copy of SEIDR #1, even if this campaign is unsuccessful. But we got something else new we're doing also. Starting there at the silver level backer, we're offering a year's worth of unlimited access to Revelation Comics on globalcomics.com.
This is online reading.
Yes. And as you go up there, when you go up to gold, it's 2 years. And at the very top level, at Revelationist level, it's 3 years. And now, just to give you an idea of what we're talking about here, imagine this. You have access to all the comics Revelation Comics is going to put out in the next 3 years, or the next 2 years, or the next
Plus
year.
everything they've already put out.
Right. And it's unlimited. You know, all of our books right now are set up where you can read the first 10 pages, but you got to pay to read the rest of them.
Sure.
These codes I'm going to be giving out for these top 3 tiers here it's unlimited. You can read the whole thing.
So yeah, that's a very cool tier. I've not seen. You're right. I've not seen anybody give away access to the library at this price. I've seen people say, "Here is our whole library. You're buying it,
right?
You're not getting access to it." So obviously that's a higher price.
Well, this is a little bit different because you don't actually get to own the digital copy with the Global Comics thing.
Right.
I mean,
you're reading it on the site.
Yeah, it's just reading online. So I mean, it's a little less expensive than if you were to give them just the whole access to the digital library. And actually, honestly, we do that too. If you'll notice there on some of the, we start offering the all ages superhero title for called Blitz #1 from Revelation, and the Nigerian war story Insurrection Fox Operations. Then we're going to have SEIDR on there, a Viking horror story. And we got more stuff coming from Revelation Comics. Lots of stuff in the works.
Yeah. Now, is Revelation Comics and Wicked Publishing the same entity, or
no?
Or are they even both you?
No. The main entity is Omen Comics.
Okay.
And we have an imprint label for the team of Omen Comics creators, mostly Steve Sellers, Tosin Awasika, and me, to make stories outside of the Omenverse. That's the purpose of Revelation Comics. Is we got stories we want to tell that don't involve the Omen Comics universe, and that's the purpose there. And we got lots of different genres coming. Like I said, we got that all ages superhero story, a Nigerian war story. We got another Nigerian superhero comic that's all it's steeped in Nigerian mythology, which is going to be pretty cool. We're working on a sci-fi comic called Shockwave. I mean, lots of stuff is coming through Revelation Comics.
Several titles, and so many of them in this gold level here too. I mean, wait a second. Did I say gold? No, the Revelationist level.
Yeah, at the Revelationist level, we throw everything but the kitchen sink at there.
Are you sure? Because I'm pretty sure I saw kitchen sink somewhere on this list.
Oh, you know what? We did throw that in at the end there. You're right.
That's a different press.
That's right.
But yeah, I mean, this is not all just digital stuff either. I mean, you're getting the SEIDR variant cover #1. You're getting You're getting both the posters, but you're also getting printed copies of Kickstarter, please take away that whole green block thing. I hate it. And it's not necessary. You're also getting printed copies of the Blitz #1 and cover art. I'm assuming you mean a poster of the cover art, because hopefully all books cover art.
Mean the we're giving away not just Blitz, but the cover art for it, not just Insurrection Fox Operations, but the cover for it. And if you'll notice there, at the Revelationist level, you're also getting all of Omen comics in digital format. Absolutely,
you are. Is there anything left on the website to read after this? Because you're
well, if you get the Revelationist level, you're gonna have everything we got to offer right now. But like I said, we've got a lot more common. We've got this is the first comic we're planning on doing this year. We are planning on doing at least 2 more. We got plans for next year, doing more too. I mean, stuff is constantly rolling here.
Well, if you're looking for ideas, Herwenberg says this book looks great. Would also love to see a book about the Varangian Viking Rurik and the Kievan Rus. Rather relevant right now with the war and all. There's a war. I'm totally unaffected by this. I thought it was natural that my gas prices should be $17,000 a gallon.
No, I mean, we are going to explore more Viking history and stuff in Omen comics. But I think this will probably be the end of Viking stories in Revelation comics. At least I don't have any more currently written.
Yeah, I mean, well, you don't have to do it for Revelation comics because you've got these time travelers that can just go and visit the actual Viking era.
Right.
And it's still a fantasy book too, so they can still have magic in that Viking era.
Yeah, there are 2 staples in everything I write, it seems, and that seems to be horror and mythology. Those tend to be blended into everything I write.
Yeah, hey, if anything in mythology is true, it's pretty horrific.
Well said. Yes.
I don't think you can separate those 2. Where was I going with this? I can't remember now. We were talking about being earlier about being early possibly because of the lettering and everything.
Yeah.
How has communication been with your printer for paper stock and having a slot to get your book printed? Because I know everybody's talking about paper shortages.
Right. I've already talked to my printer. He's also my graphic designer. But the books that I am printing are specifically for my patrons. Wicked Publishing is doing the printing, and they're doing it through that Wellspring.
Okay, Comics Wellspring.
Right. And I haven't heard any.
Folks, if you want to check them out, Comics Wellspring, not Wellspring.
Oh yes, sorry. I have not heard anything in regards to them having any paper shortages or anything. In fact, I believe they just Wicked Publishing just did a print run with them, and everything was fine. So I think we're good as far as that goes.
So once it goes from you to Wicked Publishing, the project officially becomes an SEP, which is technical slang for somebody else's problem.
Right. Wicked Publishing is doing all of the fulfillment, except for I'm going to be emailing out the digital copies. I'm going to be ordering the shirts if anybody orders one. Says took him a month to get books because of the paper shortage.
Yeah, and I don't. Where's this paper shortage? I'm like, we still have trees. Go to California, clear-cut California, and.
Well, I can tell you the perspective from the print shop, and that is that when the pandemic happened and we had everybody was all on lockdown, and that happened a couple of different times. Well, that just about killed most of the paper supply companies that are in the United States. There's only a couple left, and that's why there's a shortage.
Okay. Good, because God knows we didn't have toilet paper during the pandemic. But,
No,
yeah.
what I mean, that's one of the things that we tried to consider. You'll notice with the printed stuff, I believe we have August as the July or August
Yes, you
for
got
the
August on this one. Yeah.
yeah for the printed copies. Now that accounts for the time Supreme Graphic needs to make the PDFs. That accounts for the time Wicked needs to get the proofs back and to check them out. We accounted for everything that has to be done and then added 3 months.
Yeah, that sounds sane. That should be a reasonable amount of time to uh, account for any paper shortages.
And this isn't like a lot of campaigns where we're not even making this book unless the campaign is successful. It's already getting made. Like I said, I got the lettered pages up to 17, page 17 today. So I mean, this is getting made. This is getting made regardless of this campaign. We're just counting on folks like you guys with the heart to support indie comics to cover our costs and maybe get some cool stuff along the way.
Well, there you go. So, folks, you got 21 days left to go, but don't wait that long. I know it's Kickstarter, and they're going to surprise you in 21 days by taking the money out. And you forgot about it, but uh, do like I do. Tell your phone to remind you in 20 days to back this. If that's how I handle all my Kickstarters, Michael. I got a whole schedule on my phone. It pops up every morning. Says, remember to go in and back this today. Simply for the purpose that when I give them the money, that money goes away that day. And I don't look in my account and say, oh, I have money. Let's go get some lunch and forget the Kickstarter's coming in a couple of days to get it.
Right. I've heard that a lot of people like to do that. That charge at the end of the month comes as a surprise to some folks, and they actually like to come on at the end. And I think actually right now we're at 42 followers. And I'm pretty sure. I mean, if all those guys jump on at the end, this should work out pretty well. I think.
Yeah, well, that's true with all the crowdfunding. Really, I mean, it's like you get this huge spike on day one, and then it just kind of tapers off and plateaus, and then like the last 3 days is like this sudden spike and especially with Kickstarter because it's they're going to take the money then. Indiegogo takes the money no matter what day it is. When you back on Indiegogo, it's like there's still 60 days to go, but we're going to take your money now, which I think is smarter on Indiegogo's part because hey, they're going to hold how many millions of dollars are they holding that they haven't released yet for all the projects that are on there, and they're just earning interest on it. They've got to give the money up, but they don't have to give up the interest, and that's and Kickstarter is losing that funding because the money is nowhere. I don't know how. Kickstarter just collects the fee for running the campaign. So
right. Talking about speaking of money, should we maybe go over what the money these guys? I mean, where it's going to be going when they back
it goes to you.
Yeah. Well, the biggest chunk of the funds, $1,330, is going to our artist Tosin Awasika for his work on this.
Yeah, he's in Nigeria.
Yes, he's in Ibadan, Nigeria. Yes.
Okay, so that's real money in Nigeria.
Well, yeah. The exchange rate is pretty crazy. It's several hundreds per dollar, I think. But still, I think it's pretty obvious he's earned that money. I mean, look at that. He's yeah. So the next big chunk, $250 is going towards printing costs. Then we got, I believe it's $120 is going to our letterer Guido Martinez, who is lettering that stuff right now. Then we had to add on 2.5% of the gross to give to Wicked Publishing for their part in fulfilling the campaign. And then 8% goes to Kickstarter.
Yeah, Kickstarter gets their kickback.
Yeah, they do.
Well, for people who love Viking books, this looks like something they should definitely get into. I don't see why any Viking fan would look at this and say, I don't think so. No, this is everything that a Viking book should be.
No, I honestly think. I mean, I'm biased, obviously, but
Oh, sure.
I really think people are gonna love this book. I mean, I've written like I don't know, I think 14 comics now, and I think that this one is my best one.
All right. Well, yeah, you're a seasoned pro now. So, how long have you been publishing books, Mike? I
Uh,
mean, when
we
did you get
la- we started in 2008, 2018,
okay? So
and if you
that's
if you think about it,
decent amount of time, really.
yeah, we're actually doing we're actually doing pretty good. SEIDR, Accounting Revelation Comics books, is going to be the 10th book I published.
That's a lot of books. It's a fine long pedigree. I was trying to think of something clever like 5 years of publishing. That's like 30 years in steelworker years. But as far as experience goes, because you know that first book when you publish on your own is like, oh man, I'm learning everything.
Oh,
Um,
I had
and the
so
second book
much to
is
learn. Yeah.
still I'm the same way. I'm like, I'm shipping things differently all the time. I'm like, yeah, I ship like this. Yep. Coat it in bubble wrap and package it all neat up, and I still find boxes get kicked all to pieces. I'm like, okay, that didn't work very well. So yes, I'm telling on myself here. I trusted the post office to not play football with a package because it was a pretty sturdy box that the comics were in. The comics were fine, but the box was still like a collectible thing too. So I wrapped it in bubble wrap. I put it in a mylar, not a mylar, poly bag. Handed it gently. Somebody just took it, beat it against the metal post.
Man.
I've had worse. I've had somebody actually baptize a package in motor oil. Oh yeah. It was like it was a poly bag taped to a flat because the guy had 12 by 18 prints that were going out with his campaign. So I was like, well, I'll put the prints in this, and then I'll put the Gemini in the poly bag because it was printed with his logo and comic art on it. And then I taped the two together, crisscross applesauce, so it didn't shake off. It went out as one package that way.
Right.
The guy got it. He's like, yeah, this is what I got. And he showed me the first package. He said it came tied up in a clear plastic bag by the post office. And it didn't fall in a puddle. It looked like somebody just grabbed the corner and just dunked it in the deep fryer and pulled it back out. It was just like this golden, greasy, oily film all over it. The books were fine, because that was the moment I said, you know what?
They're all wrapped in the poly wrap, right?
Yeah, I said poly bags are no longer an option. The option is whether you want them printed or you want the plain white ones, because they're all going to go in that from now on. But the prints, I had to replace those because it had soaked through the cardboard, and it just ruined those. It was I don't know why somebody would do that. Yes, and that. Thank you, Metal. That is actually the book I was talking about. Somebody had bought one of the box kits, and it had arrived all beaten up. So in the future, anytime somebody orders a box like that, guess what? It's going to go in a box, and I'm going to bubble up and put it in a box. That's going to cost a little more to ship out, but by golly, your book is going to arrive not beat up. If I've got to start, putting them in metal vaults or something to ship out, that's going to be taken care of.
Nigerian comic scene is very active.
I was going to ask about that because I'm like, I hear people in Brazil and Portugal all the time. It's just the first time I've heard of somebody in Nigeria doing comics. So I didn't know how you found your artist there. And obviously he's contributing, I'm going to have to guess, to the Nigerian superhero stories that you've got coming up here just because of
yeah, actually, he wrote Insurrection Fox Operation. He wrote the SAD comic that's coming. It's an acronym for Sad and Desperate. Both of the Nigerian comics, he writes both of those. And one of the things that's awesome about that is they are Nigerian-based stories by a Nigerian. So I mean, it's it's like getting to experience another world, if you know what I mean. Their culture, their perceptions of things are a little bit different than ours, and their belief systems, their mythology. You know, it's all ancestor based and stuff like that. You know, there's just it's like getting to see another world when you read these comics.
Yeah, and plus, ain't nobody gonna be able to come to you and say, "Hey, you're appropriating another." Oh, wait, you didn't. Okay, fine.
No.
All right. Well, Michael, we're coming up on the top of the hour here, so I just, I don't get to play my shake and bake moment. Sorry, guys, but we did not get you a new backer. Hopefully that will change on the replays. I'd hate to say that we've wasted your time when you could have been somewhere else doing something productive.
Hey, I had fun either way.
But you got 15 backers. We want to see that grow. This thing should have one backer per day. Wait a second. That would be 9 backers. I saw the 21. Like, no. We're taking this thing backwards now. This thing should have more backers and it should be making more money. Get this thing to goal. If you're watching us on the replay, click the link below the video. Come over to the Kickstarter that you're seeing right there, that Kickstarter. And just click on the tier that's going to get you the books, and then enjoy
please,
your Viking action.
If I can make one more plug before we go,
Absolutely.
Please don't forget about that digital guarantee. Even if this campaign is unsuccessful, if for some reason it doesn't work out, you're still going to get a digital copy of SEIDR #1 with the variant cover. That is guaranteed.
Just by being on the backer list, even if the thing doesn't fulfill, you're going to get the digital copy. So it's like signing up for a free digital book, guaranteed. No problem at all. You're going to get that. The Orishas are like, Herwenberg knows everything. He's like a walking Wikipedia.
Nice.
The Orishas are like ancestral divinities with superpowers through Yoruba mythology. Wow, I don't know. I think Nigeria. I think mythology. I'm like, I know a Nancy. I don't know if he's specifically Nigerian. It's African, but it's all one big continent. So. Must be the same thing.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there's like some 50-something countries in Africa.
There's a handful of them. There's Egypt and South Africa and Nigeria and Ghana.
Right.
Yeah, there's Niger and Nigeria. So
right.
Is that true anymore? Or did Niger become Nigeria? I don't know.
I'm not an expert on Africa.
I can sing the Toto song, and that's it. So, but I won't do that.
I can tell you that Tosin is one hell of a guy. He's a very hard worker, and I wouldn't want anybody else doing my books for me.
Well, he's doing a great job on the art. So, we're going to see more and better from him in the future. And like you said, you've already seen evolution in his artwork progress. So, yeah. Michael, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight and bringing SEIDR to us, to show to all our viewers and our re-viewers, for those watching later now.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, man. I really appreciate it.
Anytime, absolutely. You have a book you want to say, hey, I want to talk about it. Find us a night. We'll get you back on the show post haste, and hopefully we'll see you again at CromCon. Got you penciled in. I'll get you the link for that the night of, because that's when the link exists.
All right. Yeah, looking forward to that too.
Get you out there in front of a different audience. Get out there in front of all Pop's audience and fans. Folks in the chat, thank you so much for being with us tonight. We don't have a show without you, so we're always appreciative that you're here. And as always, while you're here, we just hope you had a blast. Good night, everybody.